we're going to go from as far south in Lake County over here to LaPorte County, and we're going to be visiting now with assistant coach Bill Gum. Bill, joining us here on the program along with a couple of the new Prarie Cougars. We got 4 Cougars to talk with here today, so we'll try to get through that relatively painless situation. So, Bill, first of all, congratulations goes out to Coach Bill Gum, because this past year he was named National High School Athletic Coaches Association Assistant Coach of the Year. One of 8 coaches, all sports across our great country. Part of that, Bill, let's start with that one. What a great experience for you to be a part of something like that. How did that play itself out, and how did you become known to everybody, to the committee?
After our successful year last year, after the state finals, I got notified by Bob Prescott that I won the IFCA Assistant Coach of the Year for football. And after that, he decided to go ahead and nominate me nationally through the National High School Coaches Association. And, I really didn't think much of it at the time. I did the paperwork, sent it in, and, about 2 months later, I get notified that I'm a top 8 finalist, and they're going to fly me out to Nebraska, and it was just an unbelievable experience.
When you look back on the opportunities that have afforded you when you started your career, you've been a new Prarie guy right from the get-go. So to be able to watch a couple generations of kids come through, I know that this has to be it's kind of the love of your life.
It has become that. Never knowing clear back then when Bart Curtis hired me back in 2000 or 2001. I was telling somebody the other day, it's hard to believe my first class of seniors, I believe now, are 42 years old. And, and I'm seeing players on our team now there where I've coached their fathers. And it's just been real neat. I've been very fortunate to somehow convince, 3 other head coaches since Bart to hire me back. But it's exciting. I'm honored that I get to do this in my alma mater. I tell everybody I'm in the 47th grade now at New Prarie. I've never left.
That's awesome. Obviously, Casey McKim had a conflict tonight, couldn't be here today, so we want to really wish him continued success. But what a year last year. 13 wins, only 2 setbacks, and, of course, 4-1 in the NIC East-West. You look back on last year, some kids that certainly, Noah's gone, Tavion Ortman's gone. You look at those guys. Key components to last year's success, but you got a solid group of kids coming back. So let's flip the page from last year's group and just give me a brief overview, if you can, about the Cougars. What are the Cougars going to have to do to be successful this season?
Well, we're going to have to continue to get better each week. You look at last year a little bit. If you would have asked me last year at the same time, we weren't quite sure, how good were we, and we struggled a little bit early in the LaPorte game, and then we got it kind of going. The second week, we were going against Goshen, and I believe we were down at halftime. And we made some adjustments and got the whole thing rolling. And these boys just really bought in and got better every day and every game.
Give us an idea, as you just coming out of fall camp, how the scrimmage went. Were you guys encouraged? Did you get through injury-free as you guys lace them up on Friday against that LaPorte team that you talked about? What can you tell us about Friday?
Well, we're looking forward to Friday. I always say that it's a great rivalry game. I've known a lot of their coaches, for many years. But for one night, every year, is the first time that we're really not friends. We're going to go out there and we're going to strap it on and we're going to go at it. But they're a great program. They're a great group of friends. But it is a fun game. These kids, might go to church with their kids. They're involved in other things, so that they all know each other. So I'm sure now with social media, it probably gets a little back and forth with.
Sure you do.
Hopefully not too bad.
All right, you brought a couple guys. We're starting with the offense first. We'll take a 30-second timeout halfway through this, and then we'll get the defense to come in here. Once again, for those people who are not familiar, we're live on WEFM, 95.9 FM here in LaPorte County in Michigan City. In addition, we're doing the live stream here on www.rsn.com. So I would be remiss that if you haven't picked up a copy of this bad boy. Get it done. www.indianafootballdigest.com. Make sure you pick up a copy. We have some left as they are going fast. We've had an influx of late comers to be able to get the book out. So if you want to get your copy, make sure you do that. So, all right, we've got a couple guys here, Bill, starting with Marshall Kamichek. He's your quarterback, junior all-state, all-conference, all LaPorte County. And in addition to that, with us here today is Reese Lapsinski, wide receiver, cornerback. All right, let's talk about these two guys. What do they have to do to help this team win games?
Well, we're going to have those two connect quite a bit this fall. Starting with Marshall. Marshall is his third year as a starter for us. He actually started the last game of his freshman year, and he's had the position ever since. So anytime you can have a quarterback that has been leading, the offense for the last 3 years, it's outstanding. A lot of media attention was given to, both him and I last year with how well that he and I get along and feed off of each other. We work really well together.
All right, then, let's get some thoughts here. We're going to bring in Marshall Kamichek. He's wearing the Rig shirt here just as get an idea. Give us an idea on Marshall. Well, it's the last go-around, man. Senior year, all kinds of great expectations. What are you going to do for an encore getting to the state championship game? I guess the only thing left to do is bring home the blue ring, right? Is that it?
Yeah, that's right.
Game plan?
Yeah, I'm sure Coach going to be very happy to wear a blue ring like you, but for right now he's stuck with red.
Which one? I got a couple of those. Well, let's move forward.
But no, I just think that we just need to keep on doing what we're doing. We're very focused, especially this week because it's LaPorte. We're always more focused for LaPorte, and I'm excited to see what this team can do.
When you look at being the guy who's taken all the reps, you've got to do one of two things here now. Number one, you've got to be able to be the man in control in the huddle, but you also got to be a man in control when you're on the sidelines because that understudy is one play away from getting in the ball game. So you've got to be able a teacher and a mentor as well as you've got to be the leader on your football team. Is that something that comes natural to you?
I believe so. And like my backup or the guy that's under me is Reed Robinson, and him and I are pretty close friends on and off the field. So I think that when we talk and we practice, I mean, if he has to go in or when he goes in next year, he'll be perfectly fine.
All right, you're losing some key components. Noah in the backfield, obviously a guy who you handed the ball off to a lot. Let's talk about who's going to be the guy who's carrying the mail this time around.
Brock Sinka, I mean, you saw him start his sophomore year. He was pretty good his sophomore year, and then his junior year he didn't take as many reps, but he's just as good as Noah. I mean, he's there. He's ready to run. You just got to give him his opportunity. He'll show you what he can do.
All right, we're going to bring in now Reese Lapsinski. Reese, your thoughts on the season last year, some things that you learned that you're going to help you this year. What are some things that you can tell me?
Well, I think that last year that a lot of teams expect us to run the ball a lot, and Marshall ended up with over 1,000 yards passing, 15 touchdowns passing, and a lot of other teams see us as a run-first offense, and I think that translated into us becoming like a special passing team, and I think that this year we can translate it into kind of like a dual threat kind of thing.
All right, the quarterback-wide receiver relationship is very unique. I'm sure you guys spent a lot of time just playing the pitch and catch, right? Is that safe to say that you guys did a lot of that this summer?
Yes.
All right, so talk about from your game night scenario. Is there just a look, a shake of a hand, or is it a little bit of a nod? Is there some things that, that us as sportscasters up in the broadcast booth, what can we see to look for? Or you're not going to give anything away now, are you?
Nah, you're definitely not getting anything. But there's nothing really to give. I mean, Reese and I's connection is pretty strong. I mean, we hang out all the time, so there's like a unspoken connection that we have. So
Sure.
Sometimes I know exactly what he's doing without him telling me, and he knows where the ball is going to be, even in routes that aren't perfect. So
offense ahead of the defense at this time of the year, what can you tell me? Bill, do you have a thought?
Yeah, I feel offensively, I feel we're a little further along than we were last year at this
Okay.
time. Both Coach McKim and I have said that pretty much all summer. And I think it's a little bit of playing so late into the year last year, playing 15 games. All of a sudden now,
it's a lot of reps.
The season's starting again, and the reteaching of things, and not having to replace so many players on offense, we're able to keep going. So, if anything, I think we're probably just a little more ahead on offense.
Reese, from your perspective, and I'll give you a wrap up here. Who on the offensive side of the football for this new Prairie football team has to have a great year for you guys to make that trip to Indianapolis again? What other teammates?
Well, I think that obviously Marshall, but as well coming up is Bo Kamichek, Marshall's brother, and Matt Soares. He's going to be playing our tight end for us, and Reed Robinson, who's also going to be taking a lot of reps at running back and slot receiver. I think they all need to have great years for us to make a run.
Marshall, same thing with you. Same question. Who else on this team? And Reese may have already mentioned some of the guys, but there's some big hogs up front that have got to be able to do their job, right?
Oh, yeah, I 100% agree with everybody that Reese has said. But our offensive line, we got some newcomers, which they're very disciplined, and they're ready to go. We had practice today. We went on 2, and that was probably the first time that our offensive line did not jump the first time going on 2.
There you go.
So, I mean,
encouraging them.
Right. And, I mean, they're a great bunch of guys. So I think our offensive line will definitely step up and be a big part of our state run.
Well, we want to wish you best of luck. We're going to bring in the defense here momentarily. So stick around, Bill Gum. We're going to talk about the defense. New Prairie is on the clock, as they say. We'll be back here to Cuban Networks. This is a 30-second timeout, and we'll be back here on WEFM and Regional Radio Sports.